unconscious. Suspect is now been apprehended.
Okay, you do that.
Where did you come from?
That corner.
Oh, okay.
If
Oh!
you ask where she came from, I found the exit.
Where
by the
are
way.
you from?
Josh Neb, when a mommy and a daddy like each other very much.
Where did she come from? Where did she go?
Where did she come from? We don't know.
Where did you come from,
I'm just
weirdo?
a little concerned things could pretend to be us. Ooh!
I'm dead. Sometimes I forget who I am, and yeah, that becomes a problem.
That's okay. You're the robot friend.
I am the robot. Josh Neb, I got some bad news. I got crabs.
You have crabs?
I have crabs.
Me too.
Oh, great.
No friends.
I got crabs again.
I should have a... I need to find out if I can take a bird.
Yeah, there you go.
Hee hee.
So yeah, you got the bird, I got crabs.
Nice.
Here I find myself once again on a beach with crabs. Load a crab into my gun because the crab's currently loaded in the auto gun. Whatever that thing fires at it's gonna get interesting.
Face full of crabs.
I'm trying to give a horseradish to someone.
Why would you do that? Are you trying to get them to hate you?
No, they asked for one.
Oh, they did? Why would anyone
gave
ask
me a
for a
quest.
horseradish?
They're making a soup.
Ah, really nasty soup.
All right, hold on here. What do you have something
I
against
don't like
horseradish?
horseradish.
I feel like this is a personal grudge against horseradish.
Specifically, yes.
All right, I guess I'm just going to
What
bed.
did it ever do to you, huh?
What did horseradish do to you?
Once. I was hurt once by horseradish.
No, it was a horse named Radish.
Yeah, exactly. I got kicked in the head.
That explains so much.
Hey, are you trying to insinuate something?
I'm not insinuating. I'm flat out saying it.
I see. Well, I can't be upset about that then.
I'm glad to see you have pants on.
He's figured out the use of pants.
You've got your skin with pants on. Good.
Yeah, I'm not quite comfortable enough for that yet.
Thank goodness. Please don't get comfortable to where you're gonna take your pants off. Okay. Here. Oh, I got sand on it. Dirty sand at that.
That's okay.
Why did you do that? I mean, he was annoying, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he deserved that. Josh Neb, I would like to point out that Cat is just absolutely beating us. Yeah, that great showing there, Josh Neb. Great showing.
What did you do?
He drowned.
Dead.
Well, you guys do realize that we might need more iron. Yeah, the more concerning thing is the fact that you have nothing because you died. And bear in mind, at least here you can get your stuff back easily. Later on, that's not going to be a thing with Vault Hunters unless you're willing to pay an outrageous amount of money to do so. Use your fist of justice!
Come on. No. I need someone to come and help me kill this. I died again. I can't do this.
Alright.
Can you get me?
The reserves are coming in. Alright, where's your location?
God. Well, look for it on the map, because that's where my body is.
We don't see what you see on the map. Oh,
I'm dead.
boy.
Oh, come on, no, stop it. Oh, I'm dead. Alright, come on. Did you just take stuff?
Yes, he did.
Did you just die again? You're as bad as me.
You guys are both putting in stellar performances here. I clearly assembled a crack team of vault hunting experts.
Did you just die?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
They just cornered me and a bed. You're out. Darn it. Nice try, though. Did you just explode?
Look at a chest. Had a chest of bed.
I did warn you about that. Oh.
Have you been giving away money?
No, I've just been really inefficient. It's
Okay.
but that's about the same thing, isn't it?
Bring me my rice cakes. And why haven't I had a
31.
break yet? I think the union
You
has to
don't
hear
get a
about
break.
this.
Okay,
don't
you want
get
a
a
break?
break.
I'll break you.
You don't get a break.
He used the B word here in this supermarket. No.
Yeah.
I need
We will
the toilet.
close.
Poop in your pants, sir. You don't get a. You don't. Oh, hold on, wait. Do you want to know where to?
My manager
Okay. Do you
wears
want to
an
know where to?
adult diaper?
Do you want to know? Well, who's your manager? Choose those words very
Going
carefully.
way too quickly.
I am my own manager.
I am my own
I'm gonna take
manager. Keep telling yourself that.
I keep giving away money by mistake.
Well,
You better not be.
stop doing that. Stop doing that.
There. Okay. Go.
My line's getting shorter. Yours is getting longer. What's
know
going
why.
on over there?
People like me more. They like my no-nonsense
No.
attitude.
No. They know that you give away money.
Hey, last time this guy gave me a hundo.
Whoops.
Man, can you imagine wanting to hunt a capture?
I know, what a weird place to haunt. You found the bone?
Yep.
Good job.
You know, maybe the ghost wants some privacy, okay? Let's not judge. Also, Moaning
I'm gonna take
Myrtle
the phone.
haunted the bathroom. Just saying. It's not like there isn't a precedence for this.
I'll go.
I'm just trying to restock as quickly
You know, we
as
still didn't
possible.
get the lighting fixture.
Nope, we did not.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Oh,
Until there
but
isn't.
I like working in the dark. It keeps me awake and fumbling.
Oh, I gotta get the pasta. It's outside. Let's go. Move.
Okay.
Move your ass.
We need
People.
street lights at the very least. We should talk to the city about this because it's
No.
getting
They'll
way
increase our
dark.
taxes. They will increase our taxes. I will not. I'm not paying for people's lighting.
Yeah, if I don't want to have to pay to supply it myself.
I'm not paying for it in my
Oh,
own store.
no.
Why would I pay for it to light the streets?
Okay, I'm gonna just call the electrician. We'll get this figured out.
I mean, who cares if that mugger mugs that old lady as long as they buy their groceries here?
I see how it is.
As long as the money ends up in my till, who cares?
Seriously.
Well, now I know
Right.
what I need to do. I need to make enough money to become Batman.
Oh, is that what you need? You want to
Yes,
be Batman?
because obviously
That
the
works.
city needs me.
It needs you, huh?
Yes, it needs me. Like any town needs a man wearing a cape who's probably gonna get himself
I'm wearing
killed.
their underwear on the wrong side.
It's an aesthetic choice.
It's an aesthetic choice, you mean?
I can, as I need up to 9, so, darn, I can't even get potatoes. Alright, we're
You
going
can't even
parsnips.
afford the cheapest
Oh,
food there
jazz
is.
seeds.
Potatoes.
Jazz seeds are typically good.
Potato.
I
Potato.
can't even afford a potato. Stupid potato.
Perhaps I do not do so well with this vegetable. Stupid potato!
Well, I'll admit I haven't heard a lot of people cursing potatoes.
I see potato. I see.
And
Most
now I'm a
people who are
potato.
cursing potatoes are actually cursing a government that forced them only to eat potatoes and then killed them all.
Oh my god. Josh Neff, you're not allowed to talk for the next 5 minutes. You're going into silent timeout.
Here. Ugh. Oh, I got sand on it. Dirty sand at that.
That's okay.
Oh,
Why did you do that? I mean, he was annoying, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he deserved that. Josh Neb, I would like to point out that Cat is just absolutely beating us. Yeah, that great showing there, Josh Neb. Great showing.
What did you do?
He drowned.
Dead.
Well, you guys do realize that we might need more iron. Yeah, the more concerning thing is the fact that you have nothing because you died. And bear in mind, at least here you can get your stuff back easily. Later on, that's not going to be a thing with Vault Hunters unless you're willing to pay an outrageous amount of money to do so. Use your fist of justice!
Come on. No. I need someone to come and help me kill
I'm
this.
gonna go with you.
I died again. I can't do this.
Alright,
Can you get me?
the reserves are coming in. Alright, where's your
Oh my
location?
God. Well, look for it on the map. That's where my body is.
We don't see what you see on the map. Oh,
I'm dead.
boy.
Oh, come on. No. Stop it. Oh, I'm dead. All right. Come on. Did you just take stuff?
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
Did you just die again? You're as bad as me.
You guys
Let
are
us begin.
both putting in stellar performances here. I clearly assembled a crack team of vault hunting experts.
Did you just die?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh God, they just cornered me and a bed. You're out. Darn it. Nice try though. Did you just explode?
Look at the chest. Had a chest of bed.
I did warn you about. Oh boy, we got a broken. Yeah, it's broke again. Yeah, can you reset? Yeah, because that's. Yeah, that's broke. Yeah, it's not refreshing at all. There we go. Now it's working. Alright, good day everyone and welcome back. We're going to be playing some Motor Town today, but I have the schedule up here because there is something important to note about next week's schedule. Now this is of course this week's schedule, but basically the only major thing to know is that Motor Town is probably going to swap with Firefighting Simulator Ignite. We're probably going to swap days with those two because Firefighting Simulator Ignite, the first DLC for the game, comes out on, the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, sorry, it's the 16th, isn't it? Yeah, it comes out on the 16th. So it only makes sense to move Firefighting Simulator Ignite to Thursday and Motor Town to Tuesday next week. I don't know if it will stay that way or not, but we'll see. Also, as you can see, we got Repo coming up in the near future here. I don't know if we're going to do that tomorrow night for Adventorizon Live or maybe next week. I'd like to do a Phasmophobia playthrough, so we might do Repo. We might do Repo for Adventorizon Live. It kind of depends. See, I don't know what Kat and Neb's schedules are going to look like for the rest of the month, basically. I never know, really. They don't know. No one knows. Anyways, so the point is that we got some schedule changes that are going to happen with those two. So yeah, Firefighting Simulator Ignite is going to be Thursday, 2 p.m. next week, and then Motor Town is going to be Tuesday, 2 p.m. next week. So you're going to get like 2 Motor Towns pretty much kind of in a row, as far as with me streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. As for Adventorizon Live, as I said, it looks like probably going to be Repo if it happens this Friday. You know, it depends on what's going on with them and Cat there, if they can join me. And then hopefully we'll be able to do Phasmophobia at some point. I'm kind of operating on the assumption that they won't be here on Halloween, that they'll be going to like a party or something that day. I don't know. You know, they usually do that. So if that happens, then there'll be no stream on Halloween. If there is a stream, it will be just me. And I might do that. We got nothing better to do that day. Might as well spend it here. Saturday Minecraft, yeah, we're still working on what the heck we're gonna do with that. Still very much up in the air, but yeah. Anyways, let's get to Motor Town, because we're gonna actually accomplish some things today. So, I've got which character? Hang on, why is it not letting me? It's not letting me change character there. In fact, for some reason. Oh, there we go. It's working with controller. That's interesting. Which character? Yeah, we want this one. Okay. Just want to make sure. Allow join off. 170% seems to be doing okay. I'm just gonna drop it to 150 because there still has been some traffic issues. But yeah, there was an update for the game. Motor Town has another update. Actually, let's pull that up. Let's pull that up. Where is it? I'm wanting to see recent news. There it is. So yeah, in the latest update to Motor Town, they've added basically some smaller trailers there, so we get let's scroll down to it there. Yeah, it's called the Dinky. I like the name Dinky for it. We've got the Dinky Tanker, the Dinky Dry Van, and then the Dinky Flatbed there. So they're now available. We also have some new container trailers there, which I'm happy to see, so that we can get a nice road train going with that. The interesting thing is that the container there, I think if I'm not mistaken, ISO standard is like 20-foot and 40-foot containers. So theoretically, you would have to have 80 feet of trailer there, which is quite a lot, really. The other funny thing is that you theoretically, if the game supported it, which I forget what it is, I'll have to look it up here really quickly, but if you added a third one on there, that would be really long. Let's put it that way. You're talking 120 feet of trailer there, which I think that's doable weight-wise. Tankers, it's, we still don't really have the horsepower to fully utilize the dream of free tankers end to end there, even with the newest semi truck there. It's doable, but it's not necessarily pleasant. We need like a 650 horsepower engine for that fun there. High torque. Anyways, yeah, we also have some new house blueprints and stuff. So let's go ahead. We'll probably drive over and take a look at the blueprints. And then this is the big one, the Motorpedia. Basically a vehicle encyclopedia. You can now see the entire vehicle list at in-game menu Motorpedia vehicle. So this is one of those things. Okay, there's something seriously wrong here with the controls, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to restart the game because it's not working right here. I have no mouse control. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Here, can we? Yeah, just unplug it and plug it. Yeah, I have no mouse controls. All right. Let's go ahead and exit to. This is gonna be fun. Exit to main menu, and then we'll reach start, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna restart the game because there's a mouse bug here. I mean, the mouse is there. It's just it's unable to interact with stuff, but yeah, it's just not functional. Let's do it that way. Just so I know what will come up. Alright, restarting the game, everyone. Alright, let's see here. Okay, I have mouse controls now. Yeah, that's a relief. That is a relief. Yeah, can you pin that to the side there? Thanks. Okay. We should be good to go now. Starting server. Very professional as always, everyone. Ooh, actually. Oh, wait, shoot. I thought I had my, my biggest... I thought I was playing my other character and had the nice new semi-truck, and I was gonna just take a nap there before we, start doing anything, but, yeah, we need a job, we need money, we need everything, but what I think we'll do is I think we're gonna eventually get a semi-truck here. So... Oh, well, kinda, it's a level issue, actually, yeah. Level issue. Yeah, we're just gonna have to try and do a couple jobs. Not really sure what jobs we can do. Let's check out that warehouse, see if there's anything there. I don't think so, but... Whoop! Well, to be fair, that light post wasn't doing much. It's kind of just there, being useless. Taking up space. Alright. So, yeah, the Vehiclepedia, that's what we're gonna call it here. Motorpedia, Vehicle info list, let's go with that. I mean, Motorpedia I wish they had thought that name through a little bit better, because it sounds a little... honestly, it's one of those things that you find yourself saying, why hasn't this been in the game yet? And then you also find yourself saying, because why haven't I asked for this yet? You know, it's kind of an interesting thing here. I mean, maybe there were a lot of people asking for it, and I just am unaware of that. But it never occurred to me that, yeah, having a list like that would be great. But now that we have the list, it's like, well, where have you been all my life? Why is it always the crates? Alright, let's go by... Yeah, that's gonna pay the most, so let's just take 3 of those. There's the parking brake not on. have a feeling this is going to be an interesting stream, technically speaking. There's going to be a lot of fun today, I think. Hopefully all of the bugs are worked out for Adventorizon Live, because that is one day in particular I hate wasting time on Fridays. I've only got so much time, Cat and Ned only have so much time, so whenever there's a bug on for Adventorizon Live, it's not good. We end up wasting a lot of time. The stream normally would, usually when we did recording sessions on Fridays, we'd sit down at like 9 was the schedule time. We'd sit down at 9 schedule time. They would show up at 9:30 every time. So that doesn't quite work for streaming. That is why the stream, actually, we stream at 10, because if they I tell them, hey, it's 9, they show up at 9:30. It gives us 30 minutes to get all the nonsense out of the way, and then we can actually be live and doing stuff we should be doing. Yeah. Welcome to the world of, running a business that involves herding cats. And literally someone who goes by the name Cat. So yeah, but it's usually Neb. Actually, I have to give Neb a medal of honor, if you will, because he does a lot. He kind of plays the goofy role quite often in our videos and streams and stuff. And it's only partly an act in that, when he gets in video games, it's just the way he is, even if I'm not recording. With a couple exceptions. Sometimes if it's something where he's real, it's like, okay, I'm having to learn this, I want to learn this, then he's got like laser focus in the game. But, it's most games now, what you see is what you get. It's not really an act. As he put it, he hams it up a little bit sometimes for recording, but generally what you see is what he's like in games. And, wouldn't have it any other way in some regards. Sometimes I wish he'd tone it down a bit, because, I may blow my stack a few times, these things, but, let me tell you, it's nothing serious. But anyways, the point that I'm getting at is that, Neb actually does a lot to get things ready on Friday. Specifically, I'm in charge of basically like getting my computer ready and getting the stream ready and everything related to the stream, typically. Neb, though, he's getting his computer set up, he's installing stuff there, he's, updating mods and stuff on his computer as well as Cat's. Often he ends up taking the lead on mod packs. I might design the initial mod pack, but then he manages it from there. So, everyone give Neb a gold star. I mean, he does work hard. Even though he acts, even though he hams it up in some of the videos, he's much more competent than you'd think. Like that, I mean, they say, the best, some of the best and smartest actors were the ones that played, the ones who seem to know nothing and stuff. And I'd say that kind of falls into Neb. So yeah, looking for. It will be interesting what he does if we do repo tomorrow night. But yeah, man, losing control. Oh dear. What speed were we going? Because I don't think we were going. I think we were going probably 90. I wasn't paying attention. Once again, it's one of these things where I find myself saying, the speed limits do not match the curvature of the roads, and stuff. That's probably my only real gripe, is that the speed limits were signed off based on what you would expect to see for a major road like this. 120 kilometers per hour for a road of this kind makes sense. However, the actual physical road does not meet, the what you would need curvature-wise and stuff for a road with that posted speed limit. This could not be 120 kilometers per hour. It couldn't. Yeah, let's not hit the cop. Let's not just completely smash into his rear end there. We'll even use our turn signal. Look at us obeying traffic signs. That's the first and the last, everyone. We're not doing that anymore. None of this more nonsense. We got cargo to deliver. Hello, Adventorise. Yeah, for those of you on Twitch, that was on my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's one of those things where it gets interesting about... Okay, we're just gonna pass. That's one of those things where it's always fun where, you know, someone says something on one platform and, you know, they're kind of you know, there's actually rules. They're not necessarily enforced very much, but Twitch does have rules about, you know, like combined chats and stuff. I'm doing pretty good on the rise. How are you doing? Yeah, it's one of those interesting things with the rules where technically, you know, I mean, here's one of the rules that, you know, I get, but at the same time, it's like, wow, you're really dragging everything down here with, you know, streams. Yeah, Twitch, you know, one of the rules on Twitch is that you cannot, you know, they realize they can't really stop people from multi-streaming, but instead what they do is they say, okay, glad to hear you're doing pretty good there on the rise. One of the things that kind of gets me is that, you know, so one of the rules is that if you're streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, the YouTube stream cannot be superior in quality to the Twitch stream. So as a result, I have to lower the quality to 1080p for YouTube. Normally, I do stuff at 4K on YouTube. Just, you know, to get the good codec, and because some people actually do watch my videos in 4K, and in particular my firefighting videos, because apparently they like to see those really high definition flames. Yeah, I swear I got some pyromaniacs on my YouTube channel. Oh, and I missed my turn because I got so focused on just driving. I do this in real life too, because... Gee, what am I doing? I'm up here. No, I don't want to abandon job. Why would I want to abandon job? Alright, we'll just take a slight detour to get there. I mean, why is it not... Yeah, if we make a Yui... You know, couldn't be much worse of a U-turn there. But yeah, so that's, you know, like one of the rules is that, if you want, you know, to multi-stream, you have to have the quality be the same on all platforms, which Twitch is maxed out at 1080, so 1080 it is. That even goes so far as technically to bitrate, because bitrate can influence quality, so, you know, you have to follow in that there as well. But one of the other rules I know a lot of people don't know, and I don't think Twitch has really been enforcing it, but there is a rule that says you're not really supposed to include chat from other platforms. They may have actually gotten rid of that rule. I'm not positive on that, but it means that my YouTube chat technically cannot be combined, at least physically, in the chat thing. I think I'd be allowed to display it in the stream. But, well, anyone who's played a game in the last, you know, like 10 years knows that real estate on your games, you know, on your screen is basically taken up by 20 different, you know, little things. For example, here we have the mini-map in the bottom left corner, the speedometer in the, you know, to the right there. We've got the, you know, up in the right-hand corner, we have information about passengers and cargo in the vehicle, which is not necessarily important. In the top left, we have, you know, my trucking level, which this is already blocked off somewhat, and how much money I have in the game. As I said, that's already blocked off with the name tags, and it's like, well, shoot, where do we move the name tag to where it's not blocking something? Technically, I guess I don't need it up right now for this video. It's not absolutely required, but it is probably going to be needed when it's, you know, it's mostly there for adventorizon live, admittedly. It's mostly there for that. Having said that, it does lead to a little interesting thing there. So right now, on my end of things, you could say, in the pipeline of development here at adventorizon, we have it set up where Josh, Neb, and Kat, their views could be captured here and displayed for you. However, they have to set some things up on their computers, and once again, that pretty much falls to Neb's responsibility. He's in charge of managing all that, and I just manage my computer and the stream here, basically. You know, as far as, you know, getting stuff working. Scarlet kicks in and helps out quite a bit with some of this stuff. But, and I'm pretty sure she's watching right now, but, yeah. Anyways, yeah, the point is that, yeah, I'd like to get Kat and Neb's view in the stream and stuff so that we could switch between them. That does pose a little bit of a logistical issue on my end that I could easily resolve. It's more so that those two just have not, set it up. They don't have it set up to where they can, I can do it. And it's a little bit harder on Neb's end than Kat's because of, Neb and I, alright, you're gonna hear it, everyone. Little known secret. Neb and I don't use Windows. We aren't using Microsoft Windows, everyone. We're using Linux. Because we're cool like that. Said no one ever. Well, no, actually, I know someone who did say something like that once. But yeah, jokes aside on that, we have to be a little bit careful because the technology used for that is NDI. That way we don't have to run a bunch of cables or anything. But yeah, we use NDI for things like this. Specifically, the way the setup basically works is that there's there's two computers in use right now. There's the computer I'm using to play the game, and then there's a server. But we'll just consider it a computer for now. And the server actually receives all the video and audio and stuff and does what it needs to do on its end. And that's controlled by, the studio and stuff. So it is really it's a lot less complicated than it sounds, although Neb would beg a differ. I mean, I've done far more complicated than this. This is pretty straightforward. It's hard getting in here. I mean, let's be honest. This parking, this area for this supermarket is really tight. It's really tight, everyone. This just doesn't work. All right, there we go. Nice, simple delivery for 12,000. Just back up. Hit the corner a little bit harder here. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, that I'm gonna have to pull forward a bit. Actually, is there? No, there's not enough room to do it that way. Back her up, back her up, back her up, back her up. Back her up. Alright. We actually need to find a new job to do. Oh, there's a tow job there. That would be easy. That would be an easy tow job. We're up north now. Trying to remember where the garage is. I don't think there is a garage up here. Yeah, it's all the way, yeah. Alright, where should we go to get a job? The airport might have something. It might have something. Feels unlikely. It's trucking. I'm currently trucking level 25, which, you know, as I said, new character and stuff in here makes it hard. You know, we gotta get our trucking level up here. Just gotta grind that out. It's not money. That's the problem ever in this game. As I said, you know, we could do away with the payment scaling and just lower the base pay and probably be all right in this game. Just because it's going to be a grind either way with your level, so the grinding for money isn't a big deal because you gotta just grind your trucking level and your towing and stuff. Oh yeah, there is a garage here. Well, let's do a tow job. Let's do a tow job. I mean, it's right there. Alright, there we go. Oh, I forgot to turn off the headlights. Which button is that? I don't remember which button the headlights is. That is embarrassing. There we go. It's the problem of playing way too many different games within a week period and stuff and being left, okay, what's the controls for this one again? You know, it's just gonna wreck you. Also, why is it always in sport? Whenever I get in a tow truck, it's always in sport. It's like that really isn't gonna help me here. It really isn't. Well, actually, it can. You know, so once again, it's that thing about how changing your shifting timing, yeah, that can help. Oh, there's 2 trucks that we can tow easily here. To be fair, I didn't have my lights on. Alright. You know, we're just gonna have to do a little, oh, there we go. There goes the bush. In real life, this wouldn't work, but, you know, clipping's a thing in this, so... I'm gonna tilt it up just a bit. Alright. Let's get this to the shop. Yeah, on the rise, this is not, you know, I created this character when I started streaming it here on Twitch. Trust me, I have a character that, you know, has no problem with buying any vehicle in the game and just having fun with it. Yeah, as I said, it's just this thing where, you know, the payment scaling in the game has never made sense to me because they want the... Wow, we are swaying left and right like crazy with this tow truck. Have that issue every once in a while. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, it's for me, it's just that the payment scaling has never made sense in the game because, you know, the whole idea is to keep smaller vehicles relevant, but that's not, you know, smaller vehicles are still, you know, it's innately more efficient if you're transporting one item to use a smaller vehicle than to use a massive, you know, vehicle and stuff. So you don't really have to worry about vehicles becoming irrelevant in this game, you know, and stuff. Because there are times where you're going to only have a smaller cargo job available, and so you're going to use a smaller vehicle. Likewise, there's going to be times, let me pull up the map here and locate that other vehicle I saw. It's over here. Likewise, there's other times where, you know, if you're doing things right, the smaller vehicles are going to kind of become irrelevant because you're going to be transporting so many goods. You know, you're not going to be using small vehicles anymore. Plus, if you're doing it in multiplayer, you know, you're going to have new players getting on and stuff, and they're going to be using smaller vehicles. To me, smaller vehicles either naturally will always become somewhat less used by you because you've got access to bigger vehicles, or they're just not, you know, they are going to be used because they're the more efficient means. You know, you're going to do what's most efficient. And there lies the kicker in all this, is that, you know, really, the payment scaling thing just doesn't make a lot of sense. And the only reason why payment scaling is an issue in the first place, where we need something like that, is because the payout for transporting cargo is actually really high. You know, the base pay is really high, but it doesn't need to, it shouldn't really be that high. Yeah, I don't think I'm close enough. See if I can hook it anyways. Oh, that worked. Okay, good. Go. Alright. So, yeah, as I said, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get at here is that the base pay and stuff for smaller vehicles, you know, it's naturally high. You know, so let's put it this way: there's a base pay, and then payment scaling lowers the amount of money for larger vehicles because you're using a larger vehicle. When you, in real life, if I, you know, were to take an order for, you know, transporting something, not that this is my actual job or anything, but if I were to do, you know, if that were my job, if I was a trucker and I was told to transport something there, and I show up at the place, they're not going to look at my vehicle, you know, my truck and go, oh, you used a big truck? Well, we're going to give you X amount less because you used a big truck versus using a small truck to transport it. That doesn't happen in real life. It doesn't make sense from a realism standpoint. Now, to be fair, this is a game. Before the argument of it's a game comes in, let us consider the other aspect here to this, alright? If the base pay was lower, then you wouldn't need payment scaling to prevent, you know, using bigger trucks. It would make it more grindy for, you know, when you start, alright? You'd get less money at the start of things because you're, you know, it's purely based off of how much cargo you transport, not, oh, well, you use this vehicle, therefore we're going to deduct less so that you don't make too much money from a single delivery, because you used a bigger truck and stuff. True, there is the supply and demand element about that, and that's not talked enough about. In fact, there was someone who I as a rule don't, you know, out other people on what they do and don't do and stuff, but there was someone who is quite notable in the Motortown community who recently made a video, you know, about payment. You know, it's about the supply and demand aspect and how it's not talked about much. And yeah, I pretty much agree with everything he said there on that. It's just that, for me, the thing that bothers me about payment scaling is the real reason we have payment scaling is because we don't want you know, it to be too easy to make too much money too quickly and stuff. And so the solution behind that was to introduce payment scaling, rather than look at the fact that we are paying, you know, being paid too much money for the work we do in the game. And the main reason we're paid so much, you know, and rewarded for using the small vehicles is so that we don't spend all time grinding. Well, once again, I will neither confirm nor deny, as a rule of thumb. I don't, you know, as I said, I don't, positive or negative, as a rule of thumb, I won't, you know, out other channels and stuff too often, unless I know, unless I've dealt with them in the past and they're like, yeah, it's fine with me if you mention me and stuff. Positive or negative, comments about things. I don't like outing others and stuff on that. It's kind of like, recently YouTube put out a, another update newsletter and stuff, and I'm reading through it and stuff, and, one of the things was involving reaction videos and stuff, and I was like, that's just what we need, is more reaction videos and stuff. That will make the world such a better place. More people, reacting to things other people did. Because I watch so much of that. The answer is no. I don't. I do not. I have not. I will not. I mean, once again, I will not out who it is. Here's where I'm going to put kind of a negative thing here. There's this one guy, I won't say on what platform even. All he does is basically reaction videos where, I watched 2 of them just because I was trying to figure out why do people watch this guy's channel and stuff. Why? And I still don't have an answer to that, by the way. That's not real. So we'd be taking free at 3,000. That's not bad. But I've been wanting to go somewhere else. Just single player. Just single player. We gotta take another job as well with this. Anything else headed that way? Yeah, the carrots are headed that way. Load me up some carrots. Again, what an unusual load. It's gonna be fun. Strap down simulator. Yes, I know I could push the button, but I like doing it manually. Yeah. I used to like, when I was streaming on my own Twitch channel and stuff, before I started adventorizon, I used to have people on all the time, and, I used to try and open it up, but then it just started, that was back when people were more decent and you didn't have to deal with problems as much. Now, if I do, open up a server, it won't be... Oh, boy. Driving, trucking, which level? Because trucking, I think it's over 200 easily with trucking, for sure. Actually, you know what? No, if I recall, my trucking and driving level actually equaled out. So whatever my trucking level is what my driving level is at. And I know it's over 200. I mean, once you hit that point, it really doesn't matter and you stop caring because you can do pretty much anything. And bear in mind, that's somewhat a new main. So yeah, driving is easily over 200 on my main. For this character, actually, let's pull up my stats there. 26 driving, 25 trucking. Those are the only ones that really matter. I mean, the best way to get your towing up, I found, is, take advantage of the new car hauler. Get your trucking level up, and then just use the car hauler, because that counts as, when you submit the vehicles, that's going to count as your trucking, or your towing. So yeah, the best way to get your towing up is just use the car hauler, and once you have your trucking level up. Because otherwise, it's just too difficult to get that up. But let me ask you this on the Rise. What's your preferred job in this game? What do you like doing? Do you like doing taxi jobs? Do you like doing trucking jobs? Do you just like racing? I have yet to actually meet someone who does the racing. Yeah, I mean, as I said, that's a... Once you're over, like, I think it's 150 actually, but once you're over it, it doesn't really matter. But hey, you still get the bragging, right? So well done on your 1,000. The funny thing is, I forget how much time I have in the game, but I haven't been playing it that long. I think I picked it up like maybe 2 months ago, and stuff. You know, it was originally just something I was going to kind of do myself. Ah, you like doing... Alright, so you like doing your wrecker slash tow truck. Yeah, those ones can be challenging. Those ones can be challenging. It's not my preferred cup of tea just because it is a bit of a grind to get it up. Or at least it was before the car hauler. Now you can get it up to where you can get it some pretty good... you know, you can get it up there to where you can get the nice wreckers and, you know, do pretty much any job you want because you have a high enough level. You know, once you've overcome the, you know, the grind... Okay, we're passing. I really need to set up, yeah, it is easy money. Record jobs pay pretty well, especially when you own the truck. I just remember I did a record job in the game where I got completely stuck because, you know, it was one of those jobs where it's just out in the middle of nowhere. We don't really have a good off-road wrecker yet, in my opinion. You know, we've now got the, you know, Brutus ambulance and stuff, which sounds wonderful, huh? I can't wait for you know, for a Brutus ambulance to come pick me up and take me to St. Brutus Hospital. It sounds awful, doesn't it? Welcome to St. Brutus Hospital. We are going to make you better. Now sit in the bed, puny man. Doesn't sound really reassuring, does it? But joking aside on that, yeah, you know, it's I haven't done anything really with it yet. That's one of those vehicles that I just haven't had the opportunity to have fun with yet. I have to say, I love the new semi. I love the new semi truck. It drives wonderfully. I mean, it doesn't even feel like you're driving, you know, it doesn't even feel like you're driving, you know, a truck and stuff, you know. It doesn't matter what I put on the back of it either. I had two tankers filled with oil and stuff when I was doing an oil run to the refinery. And, you know, crude oil to the refinery. What? I been Brutus is so my nerfed. Now my rotor is my main. Oh, okay, I think I got what you're saying. Yeah, I got what you're saying there. I had to read it a second time there to allow streaming brain to catch up. Yeah, when you're streaming, you're really doing like 30 things at once. It feels like, anyways. In reality, you know, streaming should be a prime example, specifically with Motortown, of an example of do not text and drive. Do not read chat and drive. I've wrecked a few times doing that. Okay, what's our next point? Okay, over there. No need to apologize. It's my little streamer brain, not, you know. I'm essentially texting and driving, which is a big no-no. Don't do it, people. It's a bad idea. It's a good way to end up in the graveyard. So yeah. But no, I mean, I think everyone's got their, you know, their favorite vehicles in the game, and almost took out my customer's mailbox. As I said, I mean, 6,000 for transporting some vegetables. Let's be honest, that seems a little high. Although, I did try and look at, you know, at one point I sat down trying to kind of like convert, you know, the coins. Yeah, as I understand it, that be the case. Hello, Nakitsi. I hope I pronounced that right. Nakitsi. And that's at least a clever one. It's hard coming up with a username nowadays. So, yeah, let's talk about fuel rates there, because I sat down trying to figure out, how much a coin would be worth in, like, real-world dollars or pounds or euros, whatever currency and stuff, just peg it to the dollar, because then you can figure it out. And, yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, shoot, what is the rate on it again? Yeah, it's 7.5 coins per liter, okay? So, let's talk about that for a moment. All right, so 7.5 coins per liter. Hang on, I just want to double check because it's been a while since I've converted liters to gallons. So yeah, that would be 3.7-ish, liters that, to a gallon. So I'm just going to convert it to gallons because I'm more familiar with the price of fuel right now, in gallons. So that would be basically 28 coins per gallon for diesel and stuff. All right, sorry, I pulled out the chat panel here. So I'll take it one at a time here. Nice to meet you too. What's your favorite job to do? Doesn't matter what it is. You know, I like the trucking jobs, but specifically, this is gonna sound strange, but there's something fun about driving a container somewhere. I don't know why. I like I like transporting containers in this game, which is weird because it's not like the preferred cargo or means of transport and stuff. When we look at stuff that takes containers and stuff, I mean, the container job is pretty boring. Let's be honest. Let's say, for instance, that you were, let's say you were at overseas imports. So you're going to take a truck, let's say, with a container on it from overseas imports. And you're going to drive that container, let's say, to, where are we going to have it be? Where do we want to have it be? Maybe, yeah, maybe the where's the toy factory and stuff? Where's the toy? Yeah, the toy factory. Let's say you drop it off the toy factory. Then you're going to have to take it back to overseas imports, and that's the job. It pays pretty well, considering, it's not that far, and you get paid twice, essentially. Once for, there and then once back. But let's be honest, it's actually a pretty boring job. But if you have, like, if you have some music going on in the background and you do it, it's actually relaxing. It's kind of therapeutic just driving containers. Really, the one that I should do is containers to the oil refinery and stuff. Really quickly. Let me exit to the menu here. Let me exit out the one I've been doing for the stream. Let's switch. Let me pull up the one that, my, kind of personal main. Now, this is kind of embarrassing because while doing an oil run, I actually, yeah, I kind of high-ended it there. The landing is stuck on the ground there. This was rather embarrassing. Yeah, not ideal. Things happened. But yeah, let me just deal with this. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Alright, now we can continue on. So why did I pull this up again? There was something I was gonna show, but I can't remember now. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. Specifically what I wanted to do is I wanted to showcase what's going on with the company here in the game. No, I'll take advisor info. Don't worry too much on that. It's mostly as a point where someone's being really bad about it. I can say, hey, you're breaking the rule here. So don't worry about the backseating issue too much. You can give advice. But yeah, as I was gonna say, yeah, there's two things that you need to do kind of in this game that I found as far as your company stuff. You need to get oil going to the refinery, and you need to get you need to automate your quarry to the cement factory, and then cement to the concrete factory and stuff. You kind of have to just automate those things because there's in particular they made concrete a real pain to get. Because there's a lot that's required in it and stuff. So yeah, I have the cement automated pretty well. I've got some pretty good oil automation. Um, and stuff. But I still like to, do my own oil transport there. Which is kind of what I was doing here. This has actually got fuel of some kind in it. But yeah, the main point that I was trying to bring up with that was, you gotta automate certain things because otherwise you're gonna go mad. Just because of how grindy some things can be. Likewise, so if you're playing multiplayer and you have a bunch of friends that play the game and are willing to work in the company and stuff, that's great. The one thing I wish we could see kind of is some adjustments to the corporations. I'd like to see some changes done to the corporations where that building's on fire, but it's not Tuesday. We're not doing Firefighting Simulator Ignite. Yeah, I would like to see some changes to the corporations to where players could be like shareholders in a corporation, so that as it currently stands, when you're the owner of the company, you benefit more than your friends who are essentially working for you are benefiting. And so it becomes where everyone's going to form their own company. Which there's nothing wrong with that and stuff, but it kind of, it lowers kind of the cooperative aspect to it. At least that's been my experience so far with, companies and friends joining them and stuff. So what I'd kind of like to see is that, for dedicated servers and specifically for the corporation, if players could kind of like buy in to the corporation so that they each receive shares and stuff of the revenue, or even basically a little bit more realistic companies with some profit sharing that kind of helps. But the big issue is that money in this game is really used as kind of like a score thing that it has to be earned. There's no way you can give money to a friend who joins the game. There's no way to the only way you can really help them is if you've got a company and you say, okay, here, join my company, I'll let you use my vehicle, there will be no profit share on the vehicle that you're using, and I'll take out a contract here so you earn bonus pay for doing this type of job. But it would be nice if it would just be nice if there was better profit share for amongst friends. It's kind of how I feel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From my main there and save, I got all that stuff going on and stuff. This one here is what I used during the stream. That one's kind of more so my fun one. Although, I was playing that on not last week, but the week before, I think it was. We were doing Goblin Cleanup, and we ran into an issue. Specifically, Cat's computer had a problem, so yeah, Neb and I ended up just continuing the stream where we were playing Motortown. So yeah, we played with that save rather than this one. Although we did initially start with this one, so if we look at my company in here, and we go to players, yep, as you can see, little Neb. So yeah, multiple saves. It's always a thing about what's gonna make me you know, the most. In this case, it was actually pretty straightforward to figure out, oh, we're transporting pumpkins now. That's the other thing that's kind of funny about this game. Not necessarily a bad thing. Don't get me wrong here on this one. I'm not going to complain about this at all here. It's just interesting how you'll go to like a pumpkin farm. You'll pick up some pumpkins. It will to take to like, you know, the warehouse here. You'll transport to the warehouse, and then immediately the warehouse is sending those pumpkins to like somewhere else. And one time it was, I think it went to another farm where I basically just traded pumpkins for corn and then went back to the pumpkin farm with the corn or something like that happened. It was really weird. It's like, wow, I mean, we could have really cut out the middleman here. I mean, I'm glad you didn't cut out the middleman because I made extra money this way versus, you know, just taking it, you know. And the thing of it is, maybe it wasn't the corn farm. I can't remember, but, you know, the two farms were actually like neighbors or something like that. And it's like you could have literally just walked over to your neighbor and traded some pumpkins for some corn or whatever it was. As I said, I don't quite remember what it was. This was a while back. But it was just kind of this funny thing where I really wasn't needed for this transaction, and neither was the warehouse, but it happened. The transaction happened. Thank you for not talking with your neighbor about possibly arranging to him pick up some of your pumpkins and you pick up some of his corn and calling it a day and cutting me out of the deal. Yeah, there's little things like that you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's good for, you know, it's good for the player, but easy going, huh? And I suppose that does happen in real life, really, when you think about it. Sometimes it's better to go through through a middle person with some transactions. The fun for me has been to collect every vehicle in the game. Also, drifting is hella fun too. Usually when I drift in this game, it's not on purpose. Just as a side note there on that, on the rise. But, yeah, you know, the vehicle collecting thing, you know, you gotta get them all. You gotta get all the vehicles. And it's funny because I firmly do believe that everyone collects something. You know, it's human nature to collect things and stuff. And yeah, collecting vehicles in this game, it really comes down to, you know, your level and how much money. Oh, don't, I'm surprised that you got a little warning there on the, long messages there. I didn't know that was enabled. Yes, I realize I missed my turn again, everyone. I got distracted by 2 messages popping up once. I'll make sure, don't worry too much about that, you know, that little kind of warning you received there and stuff. That was the automated thing, and I didn't realize that was enabled. I think that had been enabled. No, don't lurk. No, lurkers are fine if you want to. So let me read what you said. Traction is the game. Oh, traction in the game is slidey. Yes. Leaning into it and leaning to drift actually helped me learn how to control everything much better. Yes, very much so. The game does kind of encourage drifting. Traction is kind of an odd, there's a few physics things. There's a few physics things that are still a little off in the game, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest, I don't expect this game to have perfect physics. You know, making that wrong turn kind of works, because I want to pull in over here for a second. We're just going to pull over here for a second and check out the new trailers. The Dinky. We're going to check out the Dinky, everyone. Actually, no, wait, the Dinky isn't here. That's at the trailer place. This is the truck place. What am I saying? We have nothing to see here, new. Nothing to see here. You're only missing 10 vehicles so far. Out of curiosity, which vehicles are they? Is it the new... I highly doubt it's the new Longhorn. I highly doubt it's the Longhorn that you're missing. I get the feeling you were like me, and as soon as, you know, you were able to, you know, get the Longhorn, you got the Longhorn. Because, honestly, the Longhorn is by far my favorite semi so far. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it there. It's Simcade more than arcade physics. Yeah, I agree. You know, so this is kind of the thing. Okay, so you're also going for getting all the trailers. Now, I'm going to be honest. Purchasing trailers in the game can be useful, but only in certain circumstances, because then you can summon them pretty much anywhere. But usually you can summon one without a problem anywhere and stuff. Acquiring trailers just feels like kind of, we're racing. We're racing! Yeah, so getting back to the whole, you know, simulator physics thing, you know, the problem with any simulator game is you're having to strike this balance between a simulator and a game. If it's too simulator-esque, it's not going to be necessarily as fun for people. You need some of those game aspects, you know, the bits that aren't necessarily realistic, but really just improve the experience, making it more fun. But, you know, so the more you lean towards one, the more you move away from the other, it feels like. You know, you gotta find the right balance for your game between simulator and game. A good example of this in some ways is that there are some games that just lean hard into the simulator aspect, and so they kind of, you know, they have a very strong following, but it's got, like, you know, that doesn't mean everyone's going to play it and stuff. Some people are going to play it and they're going to be like, this is just too much for me, you know, you know, and stuff. Unfortunately, they fully realize, you know, it's just you know, this is designed to be a simulator a lot more so than a game. So they don't get too upset about the fact that they didn't enjoy the game. It's like, yeah, it's a simulator. Well, I was thinking, first of all, alright, like 5 trucks and 5-ish trailers. Alright, well that adds up to 10-ish. And you're saying like Forza. Yeah, I don't have much experience with Forza, although I know that the new Forza is coming soon and it's going to be in Japan and stuff. Don't know how people feel on that one. But yeah, Forza's an okay example. I was thinking more so like Microsoft Flight Simulator and stuff. You know, that's one that very much leans into towards the simulator experience. I mean, when you look and you see that in the way some people you know, their setups are for playing that game, it's like, good grief. You might as well have made a simulator. I mean, I am aware of someone, let's put it this way, who they actually went and you know, added like motion, you know, they added a whole motor system with tilting and you know, so it felt like, you know, so when I forget how they set it up and stuff, but it was impressive. You know, it had the full, you know, like tilting forward, tilting to the sides and stuff. So you had 4 direct, you know, you basically had, you know, your 4 axes of movement there in their thing that they set up, and to be honest, it actually looked pretty good. It looked like something that, you know, you could easily, you know, could be sold, you know, professionally and stuff. All right, what next? What next? You know, I suppose I could do some logging runs. Oh wait, but that requires a semi, doesn't it? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Because I don't think I have enough for... hang on, let's take advantage of the new Motorpedia here. Go over to vehicles. I haven't really looked at it yet. Alright, so it does include the level requirements for the different ones. Yeah, as I said, once you hit Longhorn, you know... Yeah, iRacing has become a really interesting thing with that and stuff. just the whole esports in general, the thing that, constantly surprises me is the fact that we're not, there isn't more stuff, that has been really well adapted. I mean, certain games have really taken off, like, Counter Strike and League of Legends, and Hearthstone. Certain games did really well as far as esports and stuff and becoming popular, but at the same time, there's some things that you find yourself saying, why do some succeed and some not succeed? It's just kind of an interesting question. So I could go and get a Jamuzi semi and use that. I don't have enough for a Titan yet. But the Jamuzi is kind of better for the logging in general, though I might have to up the I might have to upgrade the engine in it. How much do I have? It's like 137. Yeah, let's just get a Jamuzi so I can start doing some stuff with semi-trucks. I mean, the Jamuzi is really a good all-purpose. You get it. It unlocks pretty early. It's just that you start to hit those limits pretty early as far as, its capabilities and stuff. And before you know it, you're like, okay, I gotta get more, gotta upgrade, gotta get more power, One of the things that I'm most happy about is that now we can adjust the saddle on the semis so that, we don't have to worry about, before that update came out, whenever I was looking at buying a semi-truck, I would actually look and kind of do like some measurements of, will this work with the trailer that I'm looking at here to haul X cargo and stuff? And it was always this awkward thing with that. Yeah. It just made it more, it just improved things dramatically, because I did run into the issue where the saddle was too close to the cab, and so it made it impossible to turn, with, a trailer and stuff. So I ended up having to switch to a different, fortunately I had multiple semis at that point. I really need to set a waypoint here, even though I'm probably going to drive right past the dealership here. I'm probably going to drive right past it, but, then it will be on me entirely and not on the fact that past me did not put down a waypoint, Do you ever find, like, your past self, does things and it just ends up hurting your present self? Meanwhile, you find yourself saying that it's this problem is going to be future you's problem, not present you, It's always past you, though, that, past you is the real problem, because it's past you who just doesn't do anything. And so you feel like you have to do everything, and so of course you're going to offload some of that work on the future you, In this case, I'm worried about, the fact that future me is going to miss the turn. But yeah, it is the case that the popular adapts with the games and the thing. You're absolutely right, and I suppose that's the way it should be. But at the same time, so this is kind of the interesting thing. Ask yourself why Team Fortress 2, for example, didn't get it. And so the first thing you might think is that, well, it's partly because it's an older game and stuff, but that's really not it. Yeah, future you, future you is always hating present you, But for me, it's the issue of I know past me will not have done something. I know future me will end up having to do it. We'll just double park. But yeah, regarding the whole esports thing, and Team Fortress 2, I always thought it kind of odd that it didn't become kind of more of an esports, scene there and stuff, partly because there's really no barrier to entry in terms of having to buy the game or even having to buy, certain things and stuff. So it makes it really accessible for new players and stuff. But here's the kicker with this. The real reason why Team Fortress 2 hasn't become really much of an esports thing. So I won't say what group it is, but in the past they're pretty they've got a series, it's a company that has a number of YouTube channels and stuff, a lot of great content creators there and stuff. But they've in the past tried to do some Team Fortress 2 tournaments. And every time they go to do a tournament, no matter what steps they take, they haven't been able to do the tournament because of DDoS attacks, basically. They cannot do a tournament live. Alright, if they were to do a tournament, they would have to do it, they wouldn't be able to do it live. And that right there is the problem. See, Team Fortress 2, the way the server, the way setting up servers and stuff works, it becomes very difficult to set that up. There is a way you could do it. I'm just thinking over all the trucks here and stuff and planning out somewhat while I'm talking. There is a way you can do it. Oh, that's right. You can't buy the truck here, if I recall. You have to... If I remember correctly, I actually have to go to a certain location to buy just the truck, right? Because it's not actually sold at the dealership. That's weird. I don't remember them. Oh yeah, that's the lower end variant, yeah. Maybe I should just work to the 180. Let's just work to the 180. Yeah, let's just not. I was gonna buy, the semi, but it's like, you know what? I mean, I'm trying to remember where I have to go to buy it. It isn't the logging area. Does the Motorpedia say? No, it doesn't. So yeah, that's the problem with when you start a new one there, and it's like, where do I get that vehicle again? That's right, it's the log warehouse. I remembered it involved logging. Oh man, that's gonna be a drive because isn't it down? Not there, not there, not there. It's in here somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, it's down here. That's a bit of a drive. I know. Oh, I could have just... Okay, well, since I've already committed to this course of action... Oh, I didn't realize my vehicle was damaged. That was probably Neb. I'm blaming Josh Neb since, he can't defend himself. Okay. Actually, let's make everyone sick. But yeah, anyways, the point is that the way the Team Fortress 2 servers are set up, that's why Team Fortress 2, the way server listings work and stuff, and creating private servers and stuff, it's really not that private. The only way you could do a Team Fortress 2 tournament and live stream it would be if you set it up with capture cards capturing, people's views and stuff. And you had, well, actually, no, there's two ways. There is two ways. You could do 2 network cards and have the server that's hosting the Team Fortress 2 server on one local area network that's not connected to the internet. And then you would have it where the second network card is connected to the internet, but so you're isolating your networks there and stuff. So you have an internet connection on one and a local area net connection on the other. That's how you could get away with it. But yeah, there's some things with that. What's good about once again, texting and driving, everyone, don't do it. About Jamuzi is it has 6 wheel lock and can. Yeah, I love the transmission and the wheel locks and everything with it. It is such a powerhouse in terms of its capabilities. I just wish, it really is a great semi. It can do a lot of stuff. It's one of those things where it's like a jack of all trades. It's not the best in any singular category, but if you can use it for pretty much anything. You can get away with using it for just about anything, which makes it great. Yeah, it is in some ways my favorite truck. I mean, as I said, the only thing you can say bad about it is that it doesn't do anything perfectly. You're complaining about that it's not perfect, essentially. That's the only thing you can really say. You can upgrade the engine pretty well and stuff on it. Its off-road performance can be a little bit iffy at times, to be honest, but overall it does do a good job with off-road performance. I mean, it's certainly going to be... Let me tell you, I did some logging with the Longhorn. That... I wouldn't suggest it. It's doable. You can use the Longhorn for a logging run. Specifically on the island there, not the big island, the little island, the logging there. Yeah, you can do it. It's just not going to be the most pleasant experience. You're going to take some damage because of the low, it's got a low suspension on it there and stuff. So you're gonna scrape the bottom, exiting, the dirt road onto the asphalt. Yeah, see, that's just it. It's one of these things where, I mean, I can do a log run with a Jamuzi, and it can handle it. It's not necessarily, you're going to be going somewhat slow at times. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't handle heavy loads perfectly, and that's where it runs into a problem in its off-road capabilities, really. I mean, it's built for off-road. There's no question about that. That truck is built. I don't think I took. Nope, I did take out the post. Okay. Well, we didn't need that one anyways. Yeah, it's built for off-road. The problem is that a lot of the deliveries you're going to be making there. Once again, this is a prime example where if I were to take fuel to, like, the logging sites or to, a mine, that is not the vehicle I would choose. I would choose a Brutus tanker because that's going to do a little bit better. But a lot of other stuff, yeah, it's going to do better on. The Titan can do okay in off-road. And it can handle the heavier loads, but it doesn't have the advantage of, that Jamuzi does. If it had more axles, would it do better? Are you referring to the Longhorn or the Jamuzi there? Because the Longhorn, if I'm not mistaken, is a 6, actually. I mean, well, 3-axle, and the Jamuzi's a 2-axle. No, the Jamuzi's a 4. No, wait, I think it is a 2-axle. Yeah. I mean, that would help with the more axles you have. No, wait, the Jamuzi is a, because it has the option of going to 6 wheel. I'm confused. Which vehicle? Which vehicle? Oh, by the way, Nakitsi, thank you for the follow. I did see that you followed on Twitch there. I've just been paying more attention to the chat than the event log, which is finally working, everyone. We finally got the event logger working properly. Huge relief. That thing was driving me nuts. Yeah, we'll just park our car right here. Yeah, hang on. All right, let's talk about it in depth now that we're here. Hang on, I forgot to turn off my headlights. There. All right. Yeah, it's a 6. So you're saying go from a 6 to an 8 on it? You know, from 6. Well, I should say from 3 axles to 4 axles. I mean, that would help with traction, but we're still, we're now splitting our power more. Oh, a longer wheelbase. Okay, I see what you're saying now. I don't know. I mean, once again, I think it just needs, here, let's buy it, and we'll go from there. Now we can at least get in it. Although I'm gonna have to paint it, because blue is not... This vehicle was not meant to be blue. Right, so let's go ahead, pull up the information on here. I mean, when you got it, you start off with a medium-duty 190 horsepower engine with a 5-speed, transmission there. And 250-liter fuel tank. See, that's just it. That's the thing. You're absolutely right. That's why it isn't done. You're 100% right on that. I suppose this brings into question, would you rather have a ton of vehicles in the game, or would you rather have a couple that are just really good? Do you want... It's kind of like this... Do you want jacks of all trades, or really a lot of really specialized vehicles? That kind of becomes where the argument starts to head. Actually, what I could have done, although I don't really feel like doing a logging run in this area, because this area is indeed rough terrain, but there might be a job we can do here. We could head on over to one of the farms here and pick up stuff there. Well, we could also go to logging 1. But you're right, it would... Okay, see, that's kind of my concern, is that, if you look at the updates, a lot of the stuff... We'll do a log run, I think. We can handle log run 1 with, the base stats of this. I'm kind of with you on that, but, everyone gets excited when they hear there's a new vehicle in the game, and I'd like to point out, you're collecting them. You see what I mean? It's just this thing where that's what's going to happen. People get excited about new vehicles in the game, so yeah, we're going to keep getting new vehicles. Oh, wait, that's the one I have to purchase. I'm not looking to purchase. Although I suppose I could rent it and save some money. Don't mind me, I'm just holding up traffic. Let's not just completely slam our rear end into that taxi side. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Once again, for me, it's kind of that balance thing. I'm just not sure where I fall in terms of the balance. This just feels like a bad idea, but we're going for it. Because usually... What's our... Alright, we're clear. Our clearance is good. Usually, I up the engine and stuff, you know, before trying to do anything with this. Oh, I'm pointed the wrong way. Of course I am. This is the one thing I do want to see fixed in this game. There is one thing in particular that is kind of like a huge sticking point. We really need to fix the traffic to where it makes sense. Oh, I'm not going to back up in time before this bus ends up. Ooh, close. Alright, well, we can work with this. We can work with this. Yeah, I'd love to see the traffic fixed to where we're not going to, we're not going to see, you know, just traffic jams in the middle of nowhere. I would love to see that fixed, because it drives me nuts. If I... Alright, hang on, wait, I'm gonna... Alright, I want to read your message, so I'm gonna pause it here. If I had to pick on free, it'd be the Longhorn, the Jamuzi, and the Jamuzi Semi. Yeah, I mean... The Longhorn is... Yeah, the Longhorn is... It doesn't feel like you're driving a truck. The problem is it's not made for off-road, you know. It's designed for, you know, highway use and stuff. You know, it's got the whole aerodynamic factor to it. And that's fine, you know. That's why I think part of the reason why I'm going to love that vehicle so much is because I like transporting containers. You know, there's something relaxing about it. So do that with that. You know. It's pretty good. But, yeah, I kind of want to see, like, I'd love to see, you know, it kind of makes you wonder why we don't really have a Brutus Semi, in a way, for your off-road use, but at the same time, you don't really need one, you know. We can get by with, you know, if you've got the Brutus tanker, you've got, you know, your distant fuel deliveries for, like, the coal mine, the iron mine stuff. Yes, you're right. You know, so once again, you know, everything, I feel like there is some balance to all of it. I saw nothing. Did you see anything? I didn't. Yeah, I feel like there is some balance to everything. Okay, what is going on with my rear end? Oh. I wonder... Yeah, I've only kind of Christmas vacationed this for this person. Okay, let's let them go. Go on, go. Okay, they're not going, so we'll go. Oh, now the ambulance is in. Oh dear, I'm just being a road hazard. Oh, this is probably a bad idea. Yep. I knew that was going to happen because of the hill. It's just one awkward encounter after another here because of that car and now the ambulance. Alright, now the road is clear. Let's actually get into the center of the road where, well, I should say the center of our quote lane so that we don't have vehicles passing. Let's get back to first person so I can drive properly. Nothing to see here, yep. Alright. You're missing your turn. You're missing your turn. Yeah, the sad thing is this feels like my actual car in real life. You know, the GPS doesn't actually announce turn left in 300 feet, you know, or whatever. I don't get the audio notifications anymore. I haven't had it in years, and it's all because of a dumb Android Auto thing. That it has to do with something with like Bluetooth connection and not able to have, it uses a different audio source type thing or something than what is used for other things, which it didn't used to, or there was some kind of a fix for it and stuff, but that doesn't work anymore or something. I don't know. I don't understand the issue. I've tried to understand the issue. I'm still at a loss. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. So I have to routinely keep an eye on the GPS because I'm not going to get the audio reminder that your turn is coming up. Yeah, how are you enjoying the bumpy ride, everyone? First person off-roading. Highlight of everyone's experience in this game. And this wasn't even the bad one. This is like the nicest one. Okay. We've cleared that. Alright. Let's get some logs and get some money. Do we want to go a long distance? I mean, 14,000 is not... I mean, what's the next option? Dang, huh? Okay, I see what you're saying there. Some remastered old stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking on that, and I think that would be kind of neat, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go for this one. All right. This will be a nice, fun little road trip for us. Now we can actually start getting some serious experience and money, now that we've got semi. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, what would I like to see and stuff, and yeah, I would like to see, even some more classic cars and stuff, That would be interesting. By the way, this is pedal to the metal, everyone. We're going about 18 kilometers per hour now. That's a new high-speed record for this thing. To be fair, we're going somewhat uphill there. And really, we just need to, we're gonna pick up some speed here. Yes. Yes, the AI drives me nuts in the game. Once again, that's where the road issues come in. That's where the traffic issues really come into play there and stuff. Part of the thing is we also need some realistic traffic lights, I think. Alright, I might have to switch to manual transmission here. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to manual. And I might have to switch, no, I think this can handle it in 4 high. Yeah, we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, better AI and, better traffic simulation in general, I think, is kind of a must-have. Because, as you said, it's not only laughable, it's annoying, because why do we get traffic jams out in the middle of nowhere? The answer, well, someone's trying to turn left into a roundabout so that they could go in the same direction that they were going to head if they turned right. Because we got, I mean, hang on, let me remember to do that as well. Alright, let me pull up the map. So let's talk about some problem areas on the map here, where we just run into comical traffic issues. This is a common issue at this intersection, and that's because we need a traffic light here. Uh, we need a traffic light that the AI is going to adhere to. That's going to say, okay, grain this way and stuff, and left turn, dedicated left turns and stuff. We need traffic light simulation basically. Yes, exactly. It is. It is just dreadful, the traffic. The second area that we see a lot of fun with traffic, where is it? I'll find one example of it soon, I know. There it is. Well, see, that's just it. Yeah, that's part of it as well. If we had, so as Nikitsi said, instead of a simulation of actual NPCs taking real trips from place to place, yeah, I mean, really, I mean, this is just an example of what causes, of this explain, this bit right here of the map explains so much about the traffic and the AI, because a lot of vehicles will head into this roundabout, come back through, and then make a right turn here. And some vehicles will even make like a left here, and stuff. This whole roundabout thing here at the end, it just doesn't make sense. And you're left saying, is there plans to at some point put something in here? If not, why isn't this all one road? And then we wouldn't have a massive, just disaster of a traffic jam here. There's always a problem with traffic here. Just like there's always going to be a problem with traffic here because the AI can't work out, a four-way stop at a busy intersection like this. Yeah. So also as on the rise has commented about libraries. Yeah. Okay, multiple things at the same time. I think that, yeah, it is hard to make good libraries in the game and stuff, and I don't even bother. No worries, Nakisi. It's just that the joy of responding to two people at the same time here, talking on two different things. But you're right. You see, as I said, I'm pretty sure something's supposed to someday go here, and that we're gonna have a road here. The problem is I'm not sure what's gonna go here. First of all, second of all, I just can't help but think this roundabout thing there at the end just doesn't serve much use. The other thing that drives me nuts, is how many vehicles come down this dirt road to the oil drilling place just to go around in a loop there. I mean, why is there so much traffic going to the oil well? I mean, most of it's not even stuff that would have anything to do with oil. I can't explain. I mean, my favorite one is when we see, a police car patrolling like the oil well. It's like, yeah, this is a hotbed of crime right here, an oil drilling facility. I'd also like to see more stuff kinda. Yeah, we've got the oil refinery here and stuff. We've got this community here. I'd like to see kind of more stuff done with the community there. Um, and I feel like there should be something more here where the harbor is. And again, we get one of those little roundabouts because the road kind of terminates and they don't know. Maybe they're going to put a city in here in the future. I mean, bear in mind, there's still a lot of stuff to come with the game, I'm sure. Yeah, here we have another case. Because over in here, we have pretty much nothing. Something probably will go here and then we'll have the road leading off there. But we don't really, the closest thing we have to like a proper highway system with interchanges is right here. here's where we see some interchanges, and even this needs some work in terms of the AI. I've seen some things. The number one issue I have with this bit right here is the number of people that are in the left lane making a right turn onto the off ramp here for the raceway area here. I mean, it just causes an entire traffic jam in the left lane because I mean in the right lane because we have someone in the left lane that's trying to make an illegal turn basically onto the ramp there. And so that just blocks up both lanes of traffic going that way. So there's some things that need to be fixed with the AI. All right, let's continue our slow trek of delivering logs in manual transmission. But yeah, there's just the traffic is just odd. And I think it's actually, I'm not gonna say, when I say it's easy to fix, I don't mean that it's easy to, the coding is easy. I'm not really sure, it all depends on what stuff is in there in the game in terms of the code. But conceptually, I don't think it's too hard to come up with fixes, and that's, in some ways, I think why the fixes haven't been done yet, is, let's switch to lower one there to get us. I mean, I'm really not sure what the, I have no idea what the code for the game looks like and stuff of things, and so I don't really want to comment about, how easy it is. Yeah, true. I mean, I remember when, I was following this game for a while before I actually got it, and I remember when it was put in and stuff. I remember the excitement of going over the big bridge everyone seemed to have at the time. Again, didn't have the game, wasn't playing it, but yeah, I do remember that. Actually, no, that's not entirely true, because I had, like, a demo opportunity with the game or something. So I did actually play it. In fact, that led to a rather funny thing, because I had completely forgotten that I had played the game when I first got it. And I went to play it, and the funniest thing happened, because it still had my save from when I did, like, a demo of it or something. The demo didn't actually end up going out because of reasons and stuff as a video. But I was completely confused because I was like, why is there already a character here? And why does he have money and all this stuff here? And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh yes, I played like some kind of demo thing of the game way back. Yeah, we're talking like 3 years ago or something. And it was like, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot. I have actually played a little of this game. Oh dear. Alright, let's slow it down because trailer's getting a little bit finicky back there. A few years earlier, right, so they may add into Kara in the future because I don't see them putting another town. Right, yeah, I mean... Yeah, so let's pull up the map for a second here. I feel safe doing so because we're on a downhill. I mean, I think for the most... There is some expansion that could be done in this area and stuff with some of the towns. I mean, to be honest, we may have too many kind of towns in some ways. I can easily see some stuff going more in this area just because of you got the beach there. So we could see what I think would be neat to see is like a whole tourist kind of boardwalk thing kind of going in here. Maybe like a hotel or something that takes passengers and stuff. Yeah, we definitely need to see a second airport. We may see if they do put an airport in, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually put it in by Dasa Harbor. But I mean, there's a few places that things could go. I mean, there's lots of room for expansion of things. One thing that I find interesting is how, right now, the game kind of treats a lot of these areas as like new developments that you have to help grow. Specifically, we see that with the tuning shop here, where the tuning shop is closed and you have to, get some things going. One thing I kind of would have liked to have seen in the game is, and this is something that I don't think can be done easily, especially now because the game's somewhat developed. I would have loved to have seen it where our actions actually lead to like the construction sites being finished and then a new construction site, so we actually end up having an effect that we see. Really? You have to remind me where. Hang on, wait. Let me pull up. Don't remember reading that. Or are you referring? Well, that's nice to know about that one. I didn't really read through it fully here with the updates and stuff. Utility slotted added to the Brutus ambulance. Oh, that's useful. Oh, there it is. Oh, we also got a, I didn't even think about this. Parking spaces added at the East Jeju dealership. Let's be thankful for that. Yeah, I can't remember where exactly it is on. I know that that's Gap. I know that's. Where is Ara again? Officially on the map. But you know what? Hang on. I'll cheat. That's odd. Did they not add the icon for it, or am I just blind? I'm probably just not able to see it because the brain's not there. See, I don't remember where Aura is. Down right. Thank you. That's helpful. This is interesting. Did they not add the, a thought just occurred to me. This game really needs coordinates. It needs coordinates. Yeah. That's the interesting thing. The label didn't show up until I checked the town thing. And the other interesting thing is, it's not marked on the map. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and that definitely looks like an airport there. We'll have to try and head over this way at some point, just to take a look. But yeah, that's interesting. Also, they're gonna have to reduce Gappa's size once they fill some more stuff in. They're gonna have to reduce Gappa's size because it's ridiculous. This is Gappa. This is the rest of the world. In fact, you can fit pretty much, I think, the entire map in Gappa. This, township thing. I'm just gonna leave that on. I should have just checked that from the start. But yeah, Ara is down in the right. I've never really spent much time down here, admittedly. But yeah, we'll try and head out that way and take a look at the, what all's changed there and stuff. But yeah, there's no marker for it as a racetrack, which is interesting. Oh. All right, let's enter the fun nonsense that is people needlessly driving in that area. Yeah, Scarlett, could you take a note about chat message length needing to be looked at, because that needs to be fixed so that people don't get timed out or anything for that stuff. It's not, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's probably a spam thing that got checked when we set up that. It looks like there's a pretzel in there is what it looks like. I'm wondering, you know, if it's gonna. I'm wondering if that's gonna turn into like. Ooh, yeah, we jackknifed a bit there. Ooh, there it is. We were fine up until the hit there. It's because I took a moment to read a message. We're gonna have to create like a crash compilation, huh? You know, I'm gonna switch back to automatic. Just because now that I'm on the road, I don't really need it. Not sure about an Easter egg. I mean, it's one of those things where you add something. You know, I ran into this once with something where I made something, you know, I did something, and everyone was like, oh, wow, you put in an Easter egg there for this. And I'm like, yes, totally. That's exactly what I did. Yes, that was purposeful reference to this. What is this? I won't say what it was, but it was like, no, that was not my intention, but, I'm not going to say otherwise. We're gonna cheat that intersection. We're gonna cheat that intersection. I think we have to... Yeah, the auto shift. There's another thing. We do have a weird thing. Oh dear. We may have met our match here, everyone. Oh boy. I didn't think about this stretch of road. Oh, okay. Oh dear. I know, at least it's not that one windy bit where it's just uphill, downhill, right next to the edge of the cliff. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All right, let's just switch to a lower gear. Oh no. I don't. Well, I mean, this is probably considering we've got damage here, because somebody was it's going a little fast. Started to have some trailer sway. Was recovering. Pretty sure it got hit from behind. That just lost it. I had it balanced for a moment, though. I had it balanced. But yeah, we'll try once we do this delivery. We'll head over that way. I'm gonna have to probably pull over just to let the radiator cool. Yes. You know, this is the thing that, it's, you know, so... Have you ever wondered why you buy a more expensive, we keep, we get You know, everyone keeps asking the question of, you know, okay, I bought a new graphics card here. You know, I paid so much more money for it. It's got so much better specs than a graphics card I had like 5 years ago and stuff. Yet, the games look the exact same as they did 5 years ago. People are always wondering, why is that? Why is it the games don't look any better, and yet we're having to get these more expensive graphics cards that have more power? Where's it all going? And the answer is, as you said, there's a lot. So on the rise, I'll specifically quote, the one thing people don't understand about Motortown, yes, it's a low poly game, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, see, that's just it. There is a lot of stuff going on. Okay, there's no one behind me. And what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of games put, it's to help with, you know, running everything that's going on behind the scenes. They try and push a lot more stuff on the graphics cards than what we used to. We used to just push it off onto the CPU for a lot of things, and graphics cards just handled graphics. But now we do a lot of stuff with the graphics cards that I'm not going to say graphics cards weren't intended to do, because, well, the one you have today probably was intended to allow for this. It's just that, it's not what graphics cards originally were intended to do. Oh boy, I'm really wishing I had that more powerful engine. Oh boy. It's turning into the lyrics of, Baby Got Back There. They see it's a low poly, then they leave. Yeah, honestly, I kind of enjoy a lot of low poly games. I really, you know, and they're, you know, I mean, here's a prime example of a low poly game that has a lot going on that people don't realize just how much computing power is going towards, you know, all the stuff going on. Shoot, I just forgot the name of the game. Stormworks, Build and Rescue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go 4L, you're right. I mean, we're in free and we're doing okay here, but I don't know if we're gonna be going much faster. But yeah, let's go to 4L and try it. We need to pull over anyways, just to let some traffic by, and to let the you know, engine cool with the radiator and stuff. Is there just a vehicle behind me? I mean, I'm waiting for it to pass, but I don't think that it's passing. Okay, so that's why it's not passing. Oh, now it's passing. Joy. Yeah, 4L was not necessarily any better because, yeah, it's giving us that extra torque, but we're not getting the speed. Yeah. So now's the thing you shouldn't really do in real life. Switching to 4H while moving. There we go. Out of curiosity, so for like, what's everyone's favorite, you know, like transmission to put on, you know, on the trucks and stuff? As far as, you know, do you like the 13 or the 18 for things? It's kind of my question I'm wondering here. Not necessarily for the Jamuzi, but, you know, I mean, to be honest, the Jamuzi's fine with its, you know, transmission. I don't typically change it. Kind of like it the way it is. Okay, well, now we gotta be careful of the curves. True, it does depend on the job. So Makitsi is saying it depends on the job, and on the rise, it's going for, I'm gonna say something I don't normally say. There hasn't been a game I love, but Motortown is a gem. Okay. So that's not transmission related, but still worth saying. Yeah, Stormworks Build and Rescue. That's a game that, you know, we see the low poly count. All right, so Underice is timed in with 13 speed mainly. Yeah, I don't know why. I mostly go for the 18 speed for a lot of stuff, but you know, just because having the split there with it, it does mean that you don't have to worry so much about some aspects. But I do like the 13 speed. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go more 13 speed for a lot of stuff. Oh, here we go again. I don't think we're going to have to switch to low, just because we'll be switching back soon enough anyways. But yeah, low poly games, you know, they often have a lot more physics stuff going on behind the scene than what, you know, people realize, and that's why that's why they go for that. I mean, Minecraft's a perfect example. Just look at all the physics in Minecraft. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's sand. It's got physics. But yeah, joking aside, yeah, it does kind of depend on what you're going to be using the truck for and stuff, you know. I mean, the 18 speed is definitely good for highway, you know. It allows you to get you know, it's great for you know, the different speeds and stuff, which is ironic since you're probably going to be setting your semi up for torque, but yeah, we should be getting some speed now. We're over the hump. And now we get to enjoy some rain. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a long job when I took it. I just forgot about the joy of, you know, the hills here and stuff. I mean, this one's not too bad hill-wise, but once again, we're just running stock engine on this thing. It's not ideal. All right, for this, I think we will. There we go. We'll run it 4L for this bit, because this is going to require that extra torque. Because it's a long bit with a turn. Yeah, just looking in my driver's side mirror there. I see 1, 2, 3 vehicles. 4. We got a nice number of vehicles behind us, everyone. Nice number of vehicles behind us. Oh, right. Engine overheating. For multiple reasons. I guess we should just pull over and let the vehicles pass and let our radiator cool down. That actually brings up another question. Do you put the larger radiator on, or do you just roll with the smaller radiator? Good point on the windshield wipers. Underice said it'd be cool to see if the windshield wipers actually do something than to do nothing. Agreed, but that then leads to the question of, are you going to have it where the windshield wipers automatically come on, or are you going to have to turn them on? And if so, for a controller, what are you going to use to assign toggling that? That becomes kind of the... Okay. So Underice is going for the bigger radiator, it seems, if I'm interpreting that right. Or were you referring to the air intake? Because the air intake, that's a no-brainer. You're gonna want the, yeah, for the air intake, you're gonna want the, long air intake for that torque. But the radiator, I don't know if it's really worth, you know, most of the time the radiator isn't going to be a problem unless your radiator's damaged. So, at least that's been my experience with the radiator. I don't typically upgrade the radiator, I just stick with the stock radiator because as I said, as long as you don't damage it like a fool, like what I have done, you're probably going to be fine. You know, it's only when it's damaged that you start to worry about your radiator so much. But yeah, I definitely need to get the long air intake in on this. That would help with the torque quite a bit. I have to admit, I haven't done a lot of racing in this game, and so tomorrow night's stream, which is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Don't tell Josh and I've been capped that because I always tell them 9 so that they show up at 9:30, and then we actually start on time at 10. So they think it's 9. It's 10. Okay, yeah, we got a slight issue here. Ooh boy. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about the RPM there. Yeah, we might be doing Repo. But if not, we might do some Motor Town. They're probably going to want to do Goblin Cleanup. It's just that I love Goblin Cleanup. I really do love that game. We played every demo, every thing there. It was pre-ordered and everything. It's just that game, people just don't seem to be enjoying watching it. It is more fun to play than to watch, I have to admit. Yeah, I think if they did add animation to the windshield wipers, it would have to be automatic. It just feels like it doesn't feel like it's necessary to have that as something toggleable. We gotta slow it down a little bit. I don't think we need, another button to control that. That feels like something that could easily be acceptable as an automated thing. Well, that only happens, when NPCs are, when it's like, an autopilot that the lights will come on and off. I have to manually turn them on, and I just leave them on all the time if I'm being honest. I might have been a little slow with the accelerator to make it up the hill here. I'm gonna manually shift down there. It's better to shift down early in a situation like this, that way you keep, a higher RPM, and a lower, gear. Set up global thought. Okay. Oop, I went off road because, once again, texting and driving everyone. I was looking at chat. But yeah, windshield wipers could be automated. Lights could be automated. But open up control options for other things. For example, I wish there was an, yeah, we're gonna have to switch. Okay. Guess we pretty much stalled there. Yeah, one of the things that kind of gets with the taxi is that, it would be nice, I wish there was a much easier control for a controller. You know, I mean, you can hit tab to pull up the tab and stuff on your keyboard and stuff, but controller, it's a little bit. I don't even remember what the controls are to pull that up. Huh. I just learned something new, actually, about the game. Not as much as I'd like, I'll put it, so, Rise asked, how much do you play Motortown? A lot, or time to time? Well, so, this is the funny thing, you know, when your business centers around you playing games, you don't necessarily spend all that time, you know, it's one of those things where it gets interesting regarding, how do you, spend your time playing. You know, you don't always get to play what you want to play when you want to play it. You know, so, Motortown I've been playing at least once a week, you know, here on the channel. Motortown has its own dedicated day here on the channel, which is Thursday, although next week it's going to be Tuesday, because we need to move Firefighting Simulator to Thursday next week because of the DLC release for Firefighting Simulator Ignite is on Thursday, so we have to switch days. It's not that big of a deal, really. Two hitchhikers. Wouldn't it be funny if they're going in opposite directions of one another? So, yeah, I've been playing it once a week. Originally, I was doing videos of it, but the main reason why I'm not putting out videos so much on my channel and just live streaming is, it's kind of a time management thing. There's also some other aspects of, you know, economic aspects regarding temperature and cooling and stuff. Streaming is a lot easier in terms of, I don't have to go, you know, I don't, so here's why this kind of comes into play with the whole Motortown. I should probably answer the question more hard here. I'm going to give a more hard answer. At least 3 hours a week is currently that, because of the stream on Thursdays, but as I said, next week it's going to be on Tuesday. But, yeah, so I was doing videos on it, in which case, yeah, I'd play for maybe, you know, 45 minutes, an hour, and then I'd have to put out, then I'd have to edit the video, upload the video, and generally people are not you know, the thing I found is that people aren't going to watch, multiple videos of Motortown within a week. This goes for most games. You know, people, it's like, I want one video a week on this game, because that's all I have time to watch, it seems, nowadays, this kind of thing, because I'm watching a live stream. Oh, yeah. So that's why I'm live streaming more, because, A, you get more content when I live stream. You're gonna get, you know, 3 hours of Motortown here. Yes, on Tuesday it was 3 hours of Firefighting Simulator, and why... That was weird. I swear the logic for the automatic transmission is off on this. Anyways, yeah, so I'll stream for, you know, 3 hours and stuff, and you'll get 3 hours of content. If I were to make a video and stuff, I would, you know, because of attention spans and stuff, you know, a lot of stuff would end up getting cut from the video. So that same 3 hours of content may make 4 videos at the most. So, yeah, live streaming just works better for some things, like Motortown, as an example. Oh, that's just... No. Quit the gear hold. We need to go to 2. Alright, we're switching to manual because it's wanting to go to free, and we need to just stay in 2 because transitioning to free is going to cause it to stall. And this is kind of the reason why, you know, we haven't really automated semi-trucks that much. to where they would have an automated transmission, because if you think about it, it is possible. It is possible, it just wouldn't work, you know, basically, instead of, you know, you would have like a robotic arm applying clutch and shifting gears and stuff. The actual mechanics of the transmission would remain the same for an automatic semi-truck and stuff. And there are some technically out there, because, you know, there are self-driving semi-trucks now. So think about that for a moment. They have to have an automatic transmission since there isn't necessarily someone driving it. Well, you've been here for about an hour, so I'm going to take that as a compliment. On the right, said I can watch someone play Motor Town for an hour if they're entertaining enough. And see, that's just it. You know, the thing with people have better attention spans when it comes to streams to some degree. I mean, you know, I get a lot of people that will come in and then they'll leave and then they'll come back and then they'll leave again and they'll come back. You know, that happens quite frequently with things. Alright, we got a downshift here. Guess we're gonna have to switch to low to go up here. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing, you know. It sometimes, you know, and you can't take offense to it because, you know, it's that they're, you know, everyone's looking for something to, you know, provide them entertainment, and every minute you spend in one thing, you might be missing something else, you know, it's kind of like an opportunity cost thing. So yeah, I get a lot of people floating around and stuff, and I'm fine with that, you know. To be honest, I'm surprised, you know, because normally I don't get so many viewers on YouTube when it's live. I get the viewers on YouTube after it's out. A lot of people don't, you know, tune into the live stream after it's over and stuff. I see it almost immediately too. That's the thing that's funny about it. You know, I see it almost immediately that all of a sudden viewer count starts going up, and it's like, why? So basically, you know, my live streaming on YouTube is more so the equivalent of me just, you know, uploading a 3-hour video and not editing it. Not, you know. Alright. Why hasn't it taken... There we go. There's my cargo. Alright, well... Let's shut it down here. Let's see here. Is there a vehicle spawn? Yes, there is. Good. What I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to head on over to the racetrack and take a look at what's been done there. Alright. What's our driving route? Yeah, it's... What? Wow, okay, you know what? We're gonna try and do this a little bit differently. I could have gotten the contract, but the thing of it is that the contract, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember what the minimum contract on logs is, but I'd have to do another log run, because it's more than 4 if I'm not mistaken, for the minimum contract. I could be wrong, I might not be remembering it correctly, but, yeah, I want to head over there, so I don't, you know, I don't want to take like a 1 hour or half-hour contract that I'm not probably going to end up completing as a result, because the stream ends in like less than 30 minutes, and that took a while to get there. I will take out some contracts soon, that's for sure, because contracts really do help with the money. Yeah, see, 10. I thought it's like, no, I'm not going to be able to do 10, you know, in this streams, and I won't necessarily remember that I have the contract next stream, and so I don't, yeah, let's just drop it and head on over and take a look at our track changes. Alright, let's switch to auto shift. God, I was in manual. But yeah, I like Motortown. There's just something fun about it. And what is the speed on here? 60? Alright, we're fine. Yeah, not in a stock truck. I gotta upgrade that thing before we can start doing some serious jobs. Woo! Hit a rock. Yeah, oh boy. In real life, that rock would have been very bad for this vehicle. Alright. We're gonna make our right turn here. I am not driving the long road. I don't think we need a four-wheel drive only. I think we can do it. This vehicle can do anything. It's the reason why they give it to us at the beginning. Oh, I forgot about the mud. That could prove a problem, but there is ways of avoiding that. We just have to drive smart, and not in first person. Yeah, this is the part where we gotta be careful, right here. So the trick to this... Yeah, I admit famous last words. So, this is the area that's problematic. Oh dear, I might have already gotten myself stuck in it. Fortunately, it's easy to resolve because I'll just get out and push it back here. So, the trick to getting around this, at least that I found... Get in! Oh, wouldn't it have been ironic if I got myself stuck there? So the trick to this is if we get a run up and we drive along the side there, we should be fine. Nope. I did it wrong. Oh well. Easy to resolve. I think I still have the wheel somewhat turned, so it should turn slightly to the right. Especially if I push on the right corner here. But once we get into that grassy bit to the right there... I mean, this is still going to be much quicker than going all the way around the map to get there. This is still That's how sad this is. This is still going to save time. I mean, I could have... Yeah, not quite a wall ride. Okay. So what we're going to do here really quickly... See, this is where you need a friend to get out and push. Oop, nope. Not that way. Then the front end that's pointing in the direction we want to go. Once we get to that grassy bit there, it's pretty smooth sailing. The only problem is this thing's going to want to scooch down the hill. Yeah, that's some. I wish I'm surprised that there isn't really a good winching system like what you see in SnowRunner. I'm surprised we don't have something like that. I mean, that would have been amazing. This game could have been the polygon version of SnowRunner. That actually brings up an interesting thing. I would like to see more diversity with the biomes and stuff. I would like to see, you know, like an area of larger snow than just the top of that mountain at some point, you know? I would like to see an area that's more permanently winter. Or I would like to see seasons. One of those two. That would be kind of neat if there was seasons in the game, so the driving conditions are more dynamic. Okay, I might not be able to get it onto the grassy bit because... As I said, this is still faster than if I... That's the sad thing. Even if I were to walk it the entire way, it would still be faster than the route the GPS plotted. You're going to die out here. Because you didn't listen to the sign about four-wheel drive vehicles only. This is where you die. Foreboding situation. The thing that cracks me up is that the character models in the game are still so much better than the ones for what's the game called? Shadows of Doubt. You know, they are so much better than in Shadows of Doubt. You know what? Now I feel like maybe someday I'm gonna have to do like a challenge of some sort, where everyone has to like push their vehicle the entire distance that they have to go. You know, set like, okay, point A to point B, you gotta push your vehicle the entire way. Let's see who gets there first. That would be kind of an interesting race. Oh dear. More mud, but we should make it. We should make it. Nope. We made it most of the way. The worst part is this is somewhat uphill, so... Yeah, alright. New plan. This one's easy to avoid. Let's just back her down. Not what I want to do. Pushing your vehicle downhill has never been harder. I just keep running over it. And as I said, this will still be faster than the map route. Unless I drove like a complete maniac, then it might be equal. But I am determined to get there the hard way. Even if I die out here. Yeah, I really do need to... I think that'll be the next vehicle I purchase, is one that's just for getting around, you know, a nice little off-roady vehicle for getting around places easier. I usually get a motorcycle for just zipping around the map. Alright. Let's drive on the bit that isn't muddy. The irony of driving off-road being better than driving on the road, because the road is muddy. And I kinda got on the road a bit there. But that's alright, we can just push it this way. And it'd be fine. We just gotta get kind of like the front corner here off. This is the part that's dug in, I think, more so than the rear. Also, what was with those visual glitches? Oh, we're still don't have traction there, okay. Well, this is strange. Have they changed it? Because this used to work. I remember this used to work. This isn't the first time I've done this. I've just messed it up really bad, that's all. Because this used to work. That is weird. Feels like they've changed it. Although it seems that you can still do the trick where if you drive in reverse, you'll have better traction going. Maybe that's what I need to do, is just do that. Yeah, it's definitely the front end that's just, you know, sinking into the mud because I have zero turning. So let's try it. We could. Yeah, alright. I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't going to be quicker. It used to be quicker to just, you know, put up with the off-road conditions, but now I'm thinking it's not. How do I want to handle this? Now that we got it out of there. Yeah, this is about, at this rate, it's just getting stupid, I admit. Alright, there we go. There we go. Got it. Just a little bit more. Yeah, in this section, I've always had to get out and just push it. Which isn't easy. It doesn't like to push. Unless you hold the sprint, then it will push. Yeah, I might have to test this. I might have to test this. So what I'm thinking is, I might have to get Joshneb into the game and have Joshneb drive the route and me take this route, and then we'll get a definitive answer there. Although Joshneb's problem is he refuses to use a controller in this game, and his driving is insane with keyboard and mouse. It's just a disaster. It makes you not want. If he drove like that in real life, I would never leave my home out of fear that he'd be on the road if he drove in real life like he drives in this game without the controller. I mean, it's a nightmare. He goes like 2 kilometers and wrecks. Alright, hang on, let's get back. Okay, I know there's a muddy section here, so we just need to answer that with momentum. Now we gotta... Again, we just need momentum. Alright, we made it. Everyone's stubbornness pays off. You just gotta be more stubborn in life. Alright, where are we heading again? I don't even remember where we're going. Oh yeah, we're going out into this area. So I guess we'll stop at the racetrack first, and then we'll take a look at Ara. Okay. We've got ourselves a hitchhiker, everyone. Where are you heading? You know what? We'll pick up the hitchhiker because I'll probably end up over there anyways. To, you know, just so that the vehicle's over there when I end the stream and stuff. so that's fine. I mean, we're just gonna do a quick little tour here of the changes done to Aura. And plus, I need to get another discount because I used one earlier today. So I need to get another discount on towing. You know what? I've got another vehicle we need. We need a DeLorean that can fly. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Yeah, it would be kind of fun to have a flying car on this in this game, actually. The more I think about it. Yeah, a little too fast for it. Gonna have to adjust the turning on the on this vehicle. I haven't done that yet. Keep forgetting. Also, we do not need high beams. It was an inevitability that that was going to happen in the stream. It had, if there was a bingo card for this stream, that would be the free space. In other words, it could end up on the bingo card because it's an inevitability that, okay, Blackwolf has to flee speeding ticket. Okay, yeah, that would work. I mean, you'd get a car flying that way, you're right. I can't deny that would work, but how much control do you have over that? You'd need like a parachute on your car. You'd need a souped-up dragster with a parachute in the back so that you could say, okay, this is my stop, and then detach the cable from the plane, and then just parachute down to where you need to be. Of course, you're going to be going front end first, down, I mean, so you might need to come up with a mechanism there so that when you touch down, you're going to end up, you know, on your wheels. But that idea's got some merit to it. I think we need to research that some. That or do like that, you know, which Bond villain was it? Was it Goldfinger or... Oh. Great. Which one was it that had the car that, they could attach to wings? No, it wasn't Goldfinger, it was the man with the golden gun. That's the one, I think, that had the flying car. Cops will never know that I just turned right and hit a large rock. One might call it a boulder, but we're gonna say it's a large rock. True, the winch would break first. But I mean, if we're working with the idea where that's what you're going to do, then you're gonna put a big you're gonna put a heavy-duty cable and stuff on it. You know, you're gonna make it where that thing can stay on that plane. You know, if we're running through this scenario here. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is primarily supposed to be just a drag strip. And that's what they're doing, is turning it into a drag strip here. Well, look, one of our favorite roundies. At least this has, you know, a construction thing going on. What are they even looking for here? I mean... Yeah, probably just concrete, right? Concrete, fuel, plastic pipes, H-beams, wood planks. Alright, so just general construction supplies, pretty much. So, what I'm trying to figure out... True. I mean, the real question is, we would have to get a plane that could handle, that. That's the real, quandrum in this. I like that they have the detail of, okay, we still got some, like, construction equipment out here. So... Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be being converted into, like, a drag strip and stuff. I'm guessing that, you know, this is going to be, um... you know, the main strip and stuff, and that they're gonna put some things in on the sides here and stuff, is my guess. As for the other track, that we, you know, we're over here looking at. Yeah, a lot of things not possible yet. But, where is it on the map? Yeah, further down, okay. I'm wondering if that's gonna be... Maybe they're gonna do something with, you know, more, like, off-road, like... Maybe this is... I have a theory. Let me see the road size here before I comment on what's going on in here. So, this is definitely a dirt track here, but it's kind of narrow. I'm thinking motorcycle dirt track here, maybe? That would also explain why we have, like, these inner bits here. Or maybe it's supposed to turn into, like, a derby, you know? Demolition derby, maybe? I mean... yeah, I don't know. I don't know, this one's a bit weird. This area here is a bit weird. It's definitely going to be a track of some sort. I'm just not sure what kind of track, given... I mean, look at the shape here. It's rather odd. I mean, the fact that we have, you know, pretzel inside of it, and specifically we've got some crossovers here. That tells me it would either be like a demolition derby type scenario, or this is for motorcycles. I mean, you could have a fun motorcycle race here, I suppose. It's, you know, it just feels a little narrow for automobiles, you know, for cars and stuff. It would just be too narrow, I think. Oh, it's time? Alright, thanks for the message there. Alright, so... You know what, we'll go a little over. I mean, no, it's not like anyone's on after us. Because I am also curious about what's going on here on the map. There's one more thing I want to check out this stream, and then we'll end it. So yeah, that's 1.6 kilometers by road. 1.3 as crow flies. which we don't fly yet. Because we don't have a winch that will hold up, and a plane that will hold up, and a car with a parachute. Okay, now I'm thinking, wouldn't it be neat if you had a drone in a game that came along, hooked up to your vehicle? Ah, here we go again. That's 2, everyone. Whoops. I didn't do that. Is he actually gonna make it up here? Yeah, they're never willing to go off-road, really. Yeah, good luck with that. See, this is another example of AI that needs improvement because it's just so easy to avoid them. I mean, he's gonna get all turned around there. And by then we'll be up here and... Yeah, I know we're too fast, don't worry. No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm wondering what's going on here. Well, that goes for most games. I mean, there's a game called Contractville where there's a bug that will cause people to fly. And let me tell you, that one's weird. I'm just curious, what's the run-up on this? Because this could be a small airport. It's a little short. It's a little short, but it is possible that this could be a small airport here for sure. As a drag strip, the building's kind of away from the starting line where everyone's going to want to see, you know, and be. Oh boy. See, I flew! There you have it, I flew in Motortown for a moment there. Alright, that will be the stream, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, so once again, normally, Motortown. That's right, there is that glitch. That's right, there is that glitch. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that, to Neb sometime and mess with him. We will see on that. That would be fun. So yeah, this has been a fun one. We actually got quite a bit accomplished this stream and stuff. More than I expected. Not as much as I would hope, of course, but still very, very good progress. We've actually got a semi now, so we can start doing some things. So yeah, next stream normally would be on a Thursday, but next week it's going to be on a Tuesday for Motortown. So yeah, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing Firefighting Simulator. Well, I'll be doing Firefighting Simulator Ignite on Thursday because that's when the new DLC. So that's why they're switching days. They're switching days because of DLC release. It may stay that way. It may switch back to Thursdays. I kind of like doing Motortown on Thursday and Firefighting Simulator on Tuesday. I kind of like doing that. Also, we've got the issue of we're heading into, you know, we got Halloween coming up, so naturally our content is going to change to some more spooky related games. In fact, let me pull up the schedule here. Alright, so this is the current week schedule. Yeah, we got Adventorizon live on Friday at 10 p.m. We might be doing Repo. We might do more Motortown. I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. But yeah, we got Repo coming up sometime this week, and Phasmophobia coming up sometime this week. Phasmophobia is going to be special because you could say I'm going to have a little bit of fun with Kat and Neb because I'm going to do something. I'm going to enable a feature, but I'm not going to tell them I did it. Probably won't be long before they figure it out, but basically the way it's going to work is anyone who donates to the stream will be able to play an audio sound that we will hear and stuff. They won't, so I'm going to set it up where they're going to hear that. I'm not going to tell them I did this, so whenever someone donates, it's going to play like a spooky sound to mess with them. And let me tell you, that's going to really mess with them. That's going to be funny as can be. It might get me a few times. I don't know. I'm generally better than those two, but in particular, I can guarantee you both Neb and Kat are going to just lose it with that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that all depends on what's going on with their schedules. As I said, I'm not positive that adventorizon Live is going to take place because they never tell me until the day of if they can make it or not. So adventorizon Live will probably do repo this week. And if they don't have any plans for Halloween, we might do Phasmophobia on Halloween, and I'll have the donation set up where you can spook us by donating and stuff. I'll keep it low amounts, but not too low because I don't want, if it goes off all the time, it's just going to completely ruin the effect. But yeah, so next week's schedule, Flip, Motor Town, and Firefighting Simulator Ignite. Again, Saturday Minecraft is still canceled. Thank you for the subscription on the Rise. Yeah, it shows it up in the event panel. Thank you. I see it. So yeah, have a great day, everyone. Enjoy I know we've got a lot of new viewers here today, so go ahead and enjoy some of the funny moments we've had on the show. Have a great day, everyone. I'm glad to see you have pants on.
He's figured out the use of pants.
You've got your skin with pants on. Good.
Yeah, I'm not quite comfortable enough for that yet.
Thank goodness. Please don't get comfortable to where you're going to take your pants off. Oh.
Have you been giving away money?
No, I've just been really inefficient. It's
Okay.
But that's about the same thing, isn't it?
Bring me my rice cakes. And why haven't I had a break yet? I think the union has to hear about this.
Okay, you want a break? I'll break you.
You don't get a break.
He used the B word here in this supermarket. No.
I need the toilet.
Poop in your pants, sir. You don't get a. You don't. Oh, hold on, wait. Do you want to know where to?
My manager
okay. Do you want to know where to?
Diaper?
Do you want to know? Well, who's your manager? Choose those words very carefully.
Going way too quickly.
I am my own manager.
I am my own manager. Keep telling yourself that.
I keep giving away money by mistake.
Well,
you better not be.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
There. Okay, go.
My line's getting shorter. Yours is getting longer. What's going on over there?
People like me more. They like my no-nonsense attitude.
No. They know that you give away money.
Hey, last time this guy gave me a hundo.
Whoops.
Oh, sometimes I forget who I am, and yeah, that becomes a problem in this.
That's okay. You're the robot friend.
I am the robot. Josh, Neb, I got some bad news. I got crabs.
You have crabs?
I have crabs.
Me too.
Oh, great.
No friends.
I got crabs again.
I should have a... Oh, I need to find out if I can take a bird.
Yeah, there you go.
Hee.
So yeah, you got the bird, I got crabs.
Nice.
Here I find myself once again on a beach with crabs. Load a crab into my gun because the crab's currently loaded in the auto gun. Whatever that thing fires at it's gonna get interesting.
Face full of crabs.
I'm just trying to restock as quickly as
we still
possible.
didn't get the lighting fixture.
Nope.